All right. Welcome to OSCC 2026. Today is day 2 of our 3 days training on internetworking, IP and subnetting, with a practical on building a network using Cisco Packet Tracer, which will be done on tomorrow. So yesterday we covered internetworking, explaining some of the basic concepts of computer networks, and even talking about different models like the OSR model, that is the open systems interconnection. We also talk about the TCP IP model, that is the transmission control protocol and the internet protocol. We also talk about different network types like the LAN, local area network, WAN, wide area network, WLAN, wireless local area network, MAN, metropolitan area network, and a lot more. We also talk about different topologies. That is the mesh topology, the ring topology, the bus topology, the star topology. And we said the most commonly used topologies nowadays is the star topology and the mesh topology. The bus topology has a huge disadvantage. If there's a break in the cable that is serving everybody, it's like everybody feeding from one pipe, and that pipe is providing water or providing whatever thing, everyone is feeding from that pipe. So if the pipe is broken, then water supply is going to get caught up to the rest of the other people feeding on that line. So that's why it's not recommended. We also talk about networking devices like the router used at layer 3. We talk about the switches used at layer 2. And we talk about modem. We talk also about firewall. These are all different devices. And we said firewall can be a physical device. It can also be software as well, like your Windows Defender, your McAfee antivirus, your Avast antivirus. They are all under the protection or the scenario of firewalls. So welcome to another day. Thanks for joining. Let us know where you are joining us from by sending your city and your country, as we did yesterday and others have already started doing. Amran from Dalian, welcome. It's the other side. Welcome, welcome. Let us know where you are joining us from. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So Amran from Dalian, Michelle F. Logan from Buchanan, Liberia, Henry from Monrovia. Henry and I was in Blue Crest at the time when I was in Liberia, a long time ago, over 8 years now. Joka from Lanjo, welcome. Tomo from Liberia. I'm sure you can see my screen, Tomo. I think you're saying nothing is on the screen, so I think you can see my screen. Daniel, also welcome. Daniel has attended almost all of the editions we have had. He's a regular customer of TIT. NS, welcome from Liberia. Siafa from Hapo City. I hope I will get to see Hapo one of these days. I haven't been to Hapo before. George from Monrovia, Jonah from Ghana, Robert from Teah, from Ta'an, Enes from Tanzania, Elijah from Wuhan, Augustus from Nantong, China, Sim from Namibia, Vanyaga from Xi'an, Priscilla from Suzhou, Honorable Coco Wejila from Nanjing, Dolo from Grand Bassa, Buchanan, Liberia, Mel Gibson from Brosville, Liberia. Welcome, Abraham Dixon, also one of the oldest attendees, joining us from Liberia. Amos Sele from Suzhou. Welcome, Aruna from Sierra Leone, from Salon. Sean from Jinhua, welcome. Jesse Nole from Wuhan, City President of Wuhan, Liberian Student Union in China. Mason, also one of the oldest attendees of our programs, joining us from Liberia. Abraham joining from Morocco. Isaac from Liberia. Abdullah from Sierra Leone. Honorable Hoye Lomo Peter from Huan, a former city president of Huan City Liberian Students in China. Honorable Martina from Huzhou, former city president of Huzhou Liberian Student Union in China. Miracle Song, joining us from Chengdu. Charles from Xi'an. Alexander, Alexander from Liberia. Patrick from India. Case Lee from Morovia. Honorable COC2 of Fredetta, joining us from Changchun, serve as city president and now coordinator for the province. Honorable Sina Dana Wedi II, National Secretary General Emeritus, volunteer, and all the above. The husband to Honorable Quinetta DRS Johnson. Welcome. Yeah, to all of us, Honorable Quinetta, Honorable Benedict from Liberia, Honorable Enoch, very hardworking man, chairperson of the immediate past conference committee. And I hope to have Honorable Enoch on some of the other editions, upcoming editions, to cover some interesting things, because he has been doing a very good job when it comes to, and if you want to develop your application, you want to develop your website, you want to develop some other things, Enoch is also in that capacity to do that. I hope we can have him on one of the editions to also share some experience. Thank you so much, Honorable, for the great job you're doing. Christian from Jhansi, Bangura from Chengdu, and Dolo from India. So welcome. Thank you all for joining. Let's get started. Today we're going to deal with numbers. Today we're going to deal with just basic mathematics, nothing really complex, but basically it's going to be numbers. Numbers, today is numbers day, numbers day, numbers days. Thank you for joining. Some of your friends that are not here, if they missed yesterday and they missed today, automatically they will not receive any certificate. If they missed yesterday, they missed today, no certificate for you. That means you can just join to audit the program, meaning you just want to get the knowledge, you are not interested in certificate, then you don't have to do attendance. If that's probably your goal, you don't have to do attendance. You just audit the course and no need for certificate. So today it's how every device how they earn a unique identity, and how the network are organized, how they are secure, and how they are scaled, covering IP addressing and subnetting. So we want to focus on binary numbers, IPv4 static and dynamic addressing through DHCP, that is the dynamic host configuration protocol. We're also going to focus on subnet max and CIDR annotation. And then subnetting step by step with some work examples, and also network address translation, aka NAT, default gateway, domain name service, or DNS, and just a brief introduction of the IP version 4, version 6. So yesterday we covered internet working, talk about how devices, how network and the internet itself connects, and then talk about some of the models that help us to standardize these things, devices and topologies. So today we're going to focus on IP addressing and subnetting. Tomorrow we're going to non-practicalize everything we learned from yesterday and today. We're going to practicalize it tomorrow. The attendance link will be shared few minutes to the end of the program, or maybe in the middle of the program. We don't know at what time it's going to be shared, so let us always be on the standby. The certificate, we will start to produce a certificate after today for those that attended yesterday and attending today. We'll try to prepare a certificate after today, hoping that you will also attend tomorrow. So if you miss the practical session, then that means your certificate will not be uploaded to the system. So when we finish, after day 3, you can visit the website. That's titnetwork.org/certificate verification. And you can import your last name, or you can import your certificate ID to automatically download your certificate. If you import your last name and what that is popping up is showing another person that have similar last name, then you can just combine your first name and your last name to get your own certificate, provided you actually attended the 3 days and you submitted the attendance record, because the name you are giving us from the attendance record is what we're going to use for your certificate. We're also going to cross-check to know if you actually register as well. So this is how the certificate is going to be like. It's going to come in a PDF. If you want it, even though we'll upload it to the site, but if you want us to send it through your WeChat, WhatsApp, Instagram, or whatever platform you are using, emails, we can also send it to any other medium you prefer. But by default, you can get it from the website. And the YouTube channel, the link is, the page is there. The link is down here at TIT6299/videos, and you will get access to the same page that you can see here. I think 5 persons subscribed yesterday after or during the program. 5 persons subscribed to the YouTube channel. So you can also search for the channel. The video for yesterday is already there. So in case you missed yesterday training, you can always go back there and rewatch the video. Maybe I was speaking very fast at a certain point in time, or there was something I was saying and you didn't get it properly. You can always go back there and just rewatch the video. So today's video will also be uploaded to the channel as well. And you can also find past editions of the program we have had. different sessions on different topics, from publication, research publication, to journal submission, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analysis, web development, app development. So we have different sessions or different editions that cover different topics. Just that this one is mostly centered around those of us that are into computer networking. Uh, for this edition, they are the most favorable. But on other editions, we just try to cut across so everyone can get a piece of what the conversation will be about. And that's why we try now as best as possible to not make it so much technical with this edition, even though we want it to be, but at least to give everybody a clear understanding as to what we are discussing. So you can also find us on WhatsApp by scanning the QR code and join the WhatsApp group. You can leave anytime. After the training, you can also leave. You can decide to stay. You can also share resourceful information in the group and chat with other people there. There's no much of a restriction other than you not spamming the group or harming other people in the group. You can leave anytime, join anytime. The option is yours. The Instagram is also TIT network _ You can also find some posts and information there as well. For the Facebook page is Teah Innovative Tech on Facebook. You'll also find updates on other programs and things that we are doing. If you're here in China, you can add me on WeChat by scanning the QR code here. And then we can converse on WeChat. So let's get started. Okay. So at any point in time today, based on the recommendation or the feedback from one of the participants yesterday, we'll take questions as we keep and we're going along. We'll take questions. So if you have any question at any point in time, you can just use the feature of raising hand. There is a love emoji or love icon. If you click on it, you see react, and then you can click on raise hand. That way we can be able to identify you. Honorable Willie, if you are following, anyone hand is raised, maybe I might not be focusing at the time. You can just, once I hear your voice, then I will stop and probably listen to whatever that is there. But I'll try as best as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, to follow suit. So like I said, today's going to be about numbers, about calculation. So please get your pen and paper. Please get a notebook to write down a few things as well. So firstly, we say today's about IP addressing and subnetting. But now the question is, what is an IP address? The IP is Internet Protocol. Okay, IP is Internet Protocol. So in the common English term or in our everyday life, protocol, the protocol officer, you have to understand standards, you have to understand orderliness, you have to understand formation, you have to be respectful, diplomatic. And the protocol officer is just somebody who put things in order or make sure that things are done properly. So this internet protocol, yeah, we have that as well. But some people, maybe they might have question why the session is going on. And if we do it at the very end, the person might either forget a question or that particular thing we're discussing, we already passed it. So we'll try to do that. We take some in the middle of it, and then we'll also take some at the end of the session as well. So the IP address is the Internet Protocol address, right? And this address is a numerical one. It's not letters, it's basically numbers. The IP address is a number address. It's not letter or it's not symbols, but they're basically numbers. And the same concept apply to like the postal address that we talked about yesterday when we were discussing the OSR model. And that helped us, or that helped the network devices to know where a particular information, as we call it packet, since it's layer 3, where a particular information is to be sent, who is requesting what, who is sending what, who is to receive what. That address will help the router to best send that information out or distribute it. Even the switch will also help. They operate at layer 2 with the MAC address, but it will also help based on the address resolution protocol and the reverse address resolution protocol. So the IP address in a nutshell is just that numerical value that the router or our devices have or be assigned either statically or dynamically, as we explore later on, for other devices on the network to be able to reach that particular device or to better communicate with it. Okay. So as you can see here on the image on the right-hand side, it's just a sample of a single local area network or a single network, right? That have N devices and also have a switch and have a router. But as you can see, the N devices, they are just those laptop, desktop, servers. Those are N devices. The N devices, they also need to have an address. That address could be assigned statically, meaning yourself assigning that address, or it could be assigned dynamically by the DHCP server, which will just automatically do it. In the concept of you even connecting to a Wi-Fi, right? If you connect to a Wi-Fi, you are not being assigned an address manually. Automatically, that access point is assigning your device an address automatically. Or even if you connect to your friend's hotspot, you are also getting an IP address. But that process is done dynamically, it's not done statically. As you can see from this image, this computer was assigned this IP address of 192.168.1.10. And this other computer was also assigned another address. Two devices cannot have the same IP address. Two devices cannot have the same IP address. And this entire network is operating on a class C. We'll talk about that shortly. The class C network. So our router now becomes the gateway, as we talk about, or we talk about further. The gateway becomes 192.168.1.1. So for your device to go outside of the internet, the information first passes through your switch, and then if whatever you're looking for is not within your local area network, it passes through your gateway to go outside and search for whatever you're looking for. And if your router was able to find whatever you're looking for, it will remember the device that actually requested that information. So once the information is being retrieved from the outside world, your router will know which local IP address requested that information that they want to go and look for. And it will be able to deliver that information to that particular computer. So for all these things to happen, you need to get or be assigned an address or an identity. That is why we need to have an IP address. so that we all can be identified. Even if you are standing on a queue or on a line, if you go to the bank, they will also give you the numbers so that you also can be identified. The version of the IP addressing that we have today, the most common one, is the IP version 4. The IP version 4 is the most common internet protocol version. Though we have version 6, that is because at the time when IP version 4 was developed, the engineers at the time never thought about how vast, the internet would be. So the IP version 4 can only take roughly about 4.3 billion devices. But the number of devices that we have nowadays, they are more things that are connected to the internet. Unique IP using IP version 4, we will run out of IP addresses. So that's why we have now the IP version 6. That is far, far more. Everybody can get their own IP now. So this IP version 4 is written as 4 numbers, right? These 4 numbers, they are separated by the dot or the period. And each of those sections that is separated by the dot or the period is called octet, all right? Or you can call it a bat. Octet, or you can also call it a bat. Each octet also runs from 0 to 255. Each one of them, you can have a value from 0 to 255. That is because each octet is actually 8 binary bits. So you have 8 bits from this 192 area, you have 8. This 168, you also have 8 bits that sum up to 168. You also have 8 bits that will sum up to give you 1, 8 bit that will sum up to give you 15. So 8 binary bits can be formed into 1 octet. It's very, very important that we understand that. But then these IP addresses also come in the form of public IP addressing and a private IP addressing, because not every IP address is visible to the entire internet. So when you pay for an internet service, your company, your business, or whatever entity pay for the internet service from an internet service provider, that provider is going to, most of them going to give you a /30 subnet, right? It's just going to give you 2 usable IPs. 2 usable IPs. And that IP that your ISP or your internet service provider is giving you is called the public IP. That'll be your identity out there. But then your private IP is the one that you have inside your own local area network. The one that all your devices will get, like that your 192, 168, 1 did this, or 172, or 10.00. Those are all local or private IP addresses. They cannot go outside of your LAN. Other people somewhere cannot be able to reach your device by that local address. So that's why the network address translation also helps us in that area. We'll talk about it as we move along. So if you want something, though you have a local identity, but your router that has been assigned the IP address from your internet service provider, that address will be used to go and find whatever you need on the internet. When you come back, then you can discuss your local issues. But those local IPs, they are called private IP addresses. And the one from your ISP or your internet service provider is called a public IP address. We hope that you're also taking note because we review the attendance record and we ask some people what is the topic of the day. Some people never even understood the topic. We also ask what is one thing that you learned. Some people also put in state, I think it was 5 persons, put in state anything purple in their response. So whatever you are submitting, please be informed that we are also evaluating your feedback, and that will help us to know what we are doing every day. So for this the private range of IPs, we also have classes, class A, class B, and class C. We even have class D and E, but D and E, they are basically not used for our own uses, but they are used sometimes for research or scientific purposes and for other broadcasts and reservations. So the ones that we are already using is the A, B, and C. But for many companies, like the local companies that don't have more than 250 employees, those networks operate under the class C. So the class A IP start from 10 to 171. From 172 to 191 is the class B, and then followed by the class C. So if you observe here the 0 that you can see after this 10.0.0.0, the 00 means that, remember we said each of these things, they are OTEC, and each OTEC can have an address from 0 to 255. So we can get up to 255 addresses, IP addresses from this, just from this 0 area. We can also get another 255 from this 0. We can also get another 255 from this 0. So if you sum up everything, that will tell you 255 times 3 will tell you how many devices can connect to a class A network. So that would be too much for an organization that just have 10 employees or 10 devices. So you as a network engineer, it's not advisable to even use a class A addressing when you are dealing with a network that just have maybe 10 devices, right? This is used for a large organization and enterprise network, not for those small office systems. For the class B, as you can see, 1 0 was dropped. So when I have 2 blocks or 2 OTECs that can constitute the host addresses, the IP addresses, 255 plus another 255, that's the number of devices we can have for the class B. So you can use that one at least for the medium-sized network or company that have probably about 1,000 devices. You can be able to use that. For the number one that will be used on most home routers and even your mobile phone hotspot or Wi-Fi that you be having in this local cafe and stuff, they run on a class C network. Because here you only have, you also have the same thing, but it will also give you similar range. For some network, you only have 1 0. So you can also use the same 255 or get the same 255 hosts from there. That is what most of these home routers or small offices they are using for their network design. So the public and the private addressing, they work like an apartment building, right? The building itself has one street address that visitors, they can use to find you. Like maybe if you say that whole address is a single, maybe you say 24th Street single, or 10th Street single, or maybe Boulevard, whatever it is, right? That one unique address, everybody will go to Sinker. But when you get to Sinker, or you get to that location, then each apartment will have probably their own house number or unit number. So those ones are the private one, the private addresses. Your house number within that entire city or block, these are the private ones. So you can understand it from that aspect. But then this IPv4, for us to basically understand it, we also have to get an understanding of binaries and base 2 notations. Understand binaries and the base 2 notations, which basically going to give us an entire set of zeros and ones. So if you understand this binary, somebody mic is on. If we understand this binary notation, it can help us easily, or even the base 2 notation, it can help us easily to calculate or to unlock our subnetting, or to even unlock our IP addresses. We're going to see that through examples. For example, right, the decimal number 10, maybe you can just 10, 20, 30, 40, 10. 10 is a decimal number. But if the computer understands binary, the computer don't understand the decimal or your letters you are writing, like hello, hi, my name is Olano, and that one is just for you to see, because it's difficult for you to actually memorize the binary equivalent. So for the number 10, whenever you tap 10 on your mobile phone, your laptop, what the computer actually is reading in the back end is this value in binary. This value in binary, 0, 1, 0, 1. That is the binary equivalent of the number 10. If you even tap maybe hello, if you send somebody hello, and a hello bro, hello says, or you send an email hello, or you are saying hello on the phone, what is being converted for the machine or the computer to understand is this binary equivalent. This is the binary equivalent of hello. So imagine if you are writing a letter to your friend, and you want to say, hello, how are you today? I went to the market. So just the hello alone, this is what you are going to write down. This is the equivalent of just hello. H-E-L-L-O. So just H alone, this is the binary equivalent of H. This is the binary equivalent of E. So imagine if these things were not broken down or simplified or basically standardized. It would have been very difficult for us to use the computer or the internet or network as a whole. This is what's happening every day when we are sending messages across different devices. The binary equivalent of these things are being produced, being processed. But we don't get to see, we don't get to experience these things in the back end. Even if you are visiting facebook.com, youtube.com, youtube.com is having an IP address. That IP address will be converted to a binary format. But all of those processes, you, the normal person, don't get to see it or to experience it. So let us visit this site down here. You can take a screenshot of it. Take a screenshot of it, and let's go to. Let me open up this web page so that we can practice or see how this is going to work out. Let me go back and zoom up. All right. Okay. So let's say we want to convert from from decimal to binary. Let me copy this link and paste it in the chat. And then you can also practice it from your end. Oops, you can. So send to the link as well. Okay. All right, so please confirm if you can stay hear my voice, please confirm. Okay. Oh, that means you cannot hear me. Obtain the link. Yeah, I'm coming. I think you cannot hear me from the other in the chat. So put your name in, choose in a from section, choose text, and then to the to area, choose binary. And let us know the binary equivalent of just your first name. Just your first name. You don't have to put all of your names there. Just your okay. So you can drop the binary equivalent in the chat section of your first name. What is the binary equivalent of your, okay? All right, people are sending in theirs.